contributed much of his expertise and time to the community. Dr. Alford has also been supported, Fill Out Rides, and participated since the first annual event. He has won and been the recipient of many awards over his career and has also served as a trustee of the Illinois State Medical Society. I'd like to introduce the son, present to others, the man, the myth, the legend, Dr. Rodney Alford.
Why do I have to be a myth? They don't believe me. They don't believe I exist. For those of you, can you all hear me okay? Yeah. For those of you that have actually been a patient of mine, or your family has been a patient of mine, I'd like to see a show of hands of those. Just so some folks in here know that there's a couple of folks here that know me personally. So look around. There's a couple of folks around that actually have experienced my health care. And so I'm excited about an opportunity to talk about it. Thank you. So can we have the lights up a little bit, because they're going to be I'm getting older and my sight is getting a little dim. I need to eat a little more carrots. And, by the way, for those that had the question about whether there's sodium in certain fruits and meats and things like that, you don't have to taste the sodium to believe that there's some there. In apples, there's actually 2 milligrams of sodium. Compare that with about 160 milligrams of sodium in a quarter pound of beef. So just so you know, there's sodium in just about everything you eat. The minerals are those things that are there. But that wasn't what my talk was going to be about, but I'm going to talk a little bit about that. That light is kind of irritating. Yeah, you can turn the projector off now and just give me some lights up here. That would be fantastic. So I've been here for 5 years, and I've enjoyed every single time that I've been here. I've tried to make this talk helpful to those that come, and so I want to continue in that realm. But I do want to give it is the Larry Williams Healthy for the Holidays event, and some of you all don't even know who Larry Williams is, and hopefully there will be some discussion about who he is and who he was. A great man in this community has done some great things for this community. I do want to thank our hosts, our 2 hosts today, host and hostess today, Andre and Melissa. They've been fantastic. Would you agree? Yeah. Great. So also I do want to thank our speakers, Congresswoman Robin Kelly, our auditor, Jake Lee. And you all have to understand, I'm very teachable. When someone's up here speaking, I'm taking notes. I don't know about you, but I'm taking notes. And I got some great notes. One of the things that I think you all should take from the 2 of them, from one, Robin Kelly, was that open enrollment is when? When does it end? Midnight. Midnight tonight for the ACA. So make sure you get signed up for insurance. I don't want anyone to go without insurance because, as was mentioned, health care is a right. We all should have health care. It should not be something that can be politicized and taken away from us. So please make sure that you get enrolled for the ACA tonight. We gave you information on that. She talked about expanded telemedicine in our communities. Well, the company that I'm working for right now, Aunt Martha's, actually was one of the first to develop telemedicine for psychology. In other words, we can actually diagnose and treat patients psychologically and psychiatrically over a computer. And we've been doing that for a number of years. So I think that that's one of the big things that Aunt Martha's has been doing, and I'm working with Aunt Martha's now to help to develop that. So I'm excited about that opportunity. Also, she talked about these out of control prices for prescription drugs It's wonderful that we now have the ability to actually take some of those prices down, and now that's happened because of legislation that's passed. I'm working with the American Medical Association now, become one of the 6 people that actually represent our state with the American Medical Association. I'm a trustee for the American Medical Association, also a trustee for the Illinois State Medical Association. And so I'm working with these people that actually are making the rules and making the laws that actually control what it is that's going to happen to you financially, so it makes sense, and health-wise. And so definitely be looking out for those things. She mentioned that as well. The Mama Act, be looking out for that. To be able to cut maternal death by 35%, that's huge. That's huge, and I don't think you all heard that well. 35% of maternal deaths, mothers dying, that's been cut back just because of an act that has been enacted. So if someone tells me that politics isn't important, I have to look at them kind of strange. Politics is very important to your health and to your well-being. So I wanted to make sure I made those points. And Jake Lee, man, that was fantastic. That was wonderful. I'm gonna take that one. That one's mine now. Those 5 things, great. I'm on that. But yeah, to have gratitude, resilience, education, accountability, and being teachable, those are all great things to have. I got that. Thank you, Jake. And then keep it smooth. You always keep it smooth. I always do, man. I enjoyed that. I really did. That helped me. So I got some of that too. I was trying to take it. I got some of it. So we'll definitely keep with that. And just some of the things you're doing with the community, man. I've seen you grow up from a child, and just to see you now, man, brings tears to my eyes just to see what you're doing. I'm excited about you, man. Talking about God's forgiveness in your talk, that's some good stuff. So, like I said, I'm taking notes, y'all. I'm sorry. Somebody comes up here, I want to know. I want to get something in me. I didn't come here to just give out. I came to take. So I'm taking some stuff with me. I'm going to give you all a few things, but Darrell, as always, great stuff. He didn't bring his sugar. I know. I was looking forward to seeing his sugar model. Y'all have to. He'll have to come and bring that again. But that was really good. And I love some of the points that he made, basically about drinking 10 to 12 glasses of water a day. I can't drink that much water. I can't do it. It's hard.
I'm with
you. It's real hard. Yeah. So we have to share. You get 6, I get 6. We might be able to handle that. But that's a lot of water. But I guarantee you, if you're drinking that much water, you're gonna lose weight.
Oh yeah.
Because you're gonna be full. You're gonna lose weight. So that was some good stuff. Definitely about the apples and fiber and how it fills you up. That's exactly right. That's one of the things I preach all day long is you gotta get that breakfast in. And definitely watching your salt intake, seeing that everything has sodium in it, just about. If it grows, if God grows it, it's probably got sodium in it, and other minerals too, but it's probably got some sodium in it. So you might want to watch the sodium intake, and you can actually get that information. Guess what? It's all right here. It's all right here. Google it. So I got excited about some of the folks that was able to talk. Our second ward alderman, Michael Bryan, came, talked to us a little bit about some of the things that was doing in those new developments in housing. Thank you for bringing that, and thank you for supporting us. I appreciate that here in Kankakee County. And I say us, although I don't live in Kankakee County now, I still support this community. I work in this community, and I will continue to work to help this community as long as I live.
Amen.
So. And all the other state and local government elected officials, thank you for showing up. For those of you that did, if we have any of our local county police, I do want to give a shout out to you all as well. I support you all and encourage you all. Also for our veterans, I do thank you for your service, and I appreciate you for what you've done and the things that you've been able to give up for us. I've never been in the armed forces or anything. Don't know if I ever want to be, but I thank you for your service. because I wouldn't be there. Just saying. I want to thank also all the people that are doing the screenings, the blood pressure and blood sugar screenings. Thank you. Hopefully that information will get out to your doctors and your healthcare workers. And thanks to all the sponsors. There's a lot of people that gave something today. A lot of gifts were given out here today. A lot of food is going to be eaten today. And somebody, you need to be thanking that person. So I'm thanking those sponsors in advance. And I'm taking this time out to thank. And it's been about 7 minutes so far, just thank you. Because guess what thank you does for you? It makes you feel better. Yeah. It really does. It does something for you to be thankful. So I'm taking that time out to do that. And of course, I definitely want to thank Still I Rise, Executive Director, Takara, and also Operation Manager, Aaron Robinson. You guys do an awesome job every year. I am so impressed with what you all are doing, how you have grown in this. Continue to do it, please. Continue to do it. And if you all will allow me to come back another year, I'll try to make it short. All of the unpaid volunteers, can I see the hands of those that volunteered today to just come and help out with this? Just to show you, look back, you all. That's fantastic. None of them had to do this, and none of them are getting paid for this. So you all need to thank them as you get your food. Please thank them. It's just nice to be thankful. I'm getting ready to give you my talk, y'all. But first of all, I want to thank you all for attending. Y'all didn't have to get up and come here today. You really didn't. And I appreciate you all coming here to listen to me talk. Because I got a lot to say. I was able to condense it down to 4 hours this time. Oh, y'all think that's funny? Yeah, but I did. I actually sat down and really wanted to put some very up-to-date, and it's not going to be 4 hours, just so you know. But I can't be on the treadmill for an hour and a half. Okay, I can't do that. But I won't do that today. I don't want to bore you all. Why do we think that the holidays are so unhealthy? Anybody have an idea why the holidays are so unhealthy? Yeah. What was that? I heard something back. Yeah. Oh, you know, I'm glad somebody, that's part of my talk. Chitlins is part of my talk. Oh, snap. Yeah, I was going to talk about chitlins. What I was going to say about chitlins is use a saucer. Y'all know what I'm talking about. If you're gonna eat them anyway, use a saucer. Small amounts, folks. It's comfort food, but if it makes you too comfortable, it's gonna kill you.
Hey, but you know, if you use a saucer, you can still pile it up on the sauce.
You could do that, but you can't put as much on the sauce as you can on the plate. Hey, you can pile the plate too.
Yeah.
So be careful with it. And part of my talk will be about excess, really, because it really is about excess. And our problem many times is really excess. But some of the reasons that holidays are so unhealthy is, one, because of stress. Right. The stress that we put on ourselves to buy gifts, to give this, to do that, to be here, to be at this event, to all kinds of events are going on, all kinds of things that happen. We stress ourselves out. And that's one of the reasons that we make the holidays, which should be a healthy, happy time, unhealthy. We got to be careful with that. We are competing to please. Many times that's what we're doing. Then sometimes it's about contemplations of times past. Like we think about the fact that Mom was around, when we had Christmas a few years ago, Dad was around, a certain child was there, and they're not around anymore. Those things make us sad. And we think on those things in a very negative way. But what we should do is look at it in a positive way. We had them for that time. That's a positive thing. That's something that we need to cherish, is those times that we were able to spend with them. We could have not had those times. Okay? So it's important to remember to contemplate on some of the very positive things as opposed to look negatively on what we don't have That's that thankfulness, that's part of that grape, okay? Think about the things that are important that have happened in our past that shaped us and made us who we are today. Another thing that makes the holidays kind of unhealthy is the cold weather. And, you know, people get sick around this time, you know, because it's cold. And they're going out not properly dressed or whatever, just their immune system hasn't prepared for this kind of weather. So, you know, another thing, we don't do as much exercise when it gets cold like this. Wouldn't you agree? Yeah. We tend to sit more, we tend to do more with our screens. And when I say screens, I mean all kind of screens. Some little bitty screens like this, big screens, 72-inch screens, anything in between, and even that big giant screen that we sit down and watch movies with, we do too much of that. And we need to probably encourage ourselves to do a little less of sitting and a little less of that. Then there's more darkness during this time of year as well. It's dark more than half a year. So that's another reason that our holidays may seem very unhealthy. So we need to start exercising more during this time because it's a time that some things are going to happen. I'm going to give a few unhealthy statistics and facts. I'm going to start out real low, some negative stuff, and then I'm going to come up with it. The United States has the highest number of deaths due to gun violence. Yeah. Did you all know that? Yeah. Higher than anywhere else due to gun violence. 60% of those deaths are, guess what, due to suicide. This is statistics I just got yesterday from TV. 60% of the deaths are due to suicide, and most of those deaths, guess what, occur right around this time of year. It's depressing for some people. So we call it now, we have a phrase for that, for suicide. It's death due to despair. It's amazing that so many people are so sad around this time that they feel that they have to take their own life, and sometimes someone else with them. So that's a downer in around Christmas time. Actually, another thing, the United States is the only developed country that has had a consistently lower life expectancy every year for the last 3 years in a row. That means we're dying earlier every year. That has not happened ever before.
You said for the last 3 years in a row?
The last 3 years, we have had a consistently lowering of our life expectancy. Now we live about 76.84 years on average, which is good. Most of us want to get there. Some of us have already got there, but people live longer, and now we're dying earlier. This happened only one other time in history in the United States, one other time, when there was World War I, where people were killed in large numbers, and also during the bubonic plague, which was a plague that pretty much wiped out a lot of people in the early 1900s due to rats and pestilence and rats and fleas and things. So that's another downer. So I'm going to talk a little bit about, because I was asked to, about opioids, the opioid crisis that we have. The opioid deaths, and this is information that I've just received as well. This is all brand new stuff. I want to bring you all new stuff. I don't want to bring you anything that's old. This is yesterday's news, okay? Opioid deaths and gun violence have tipped the scale and contributed to our decreased life expectancy. Those are two major things that have caused us to die earlier. Is this opioid crisis, and it is a crisis. When something is causing us to have a decrease in our life expectancy, that is a crisis. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah.
It's definitely that. So in Kankakee County, there were 56 opioid deaths in 2017. 56 people died of opiate overdose in 2017. There were 29 saves using this medication called Narcan. And Narcan was just fully implemented in our community in our police department late in 2017. Before that, we didn't even have Narcan. So can you imagine the amount of deaths that would have occurred? We had 29 saves in 2017. Okay, right now this year, we don't even have all the numbers, but there were 29 deaths due to opiate overdose in 2018. So if you look at the number from last year, 56 from 2017, this year, 29, we almost half that. And it's the one thing that's causing that, and that is the fact that we have Narcan, and we were able to, our legislators were able to get us Narcan in this community. Narcan is about $40 per dose. Sometimes it takes 6, 7, 8, 9 doses to bring somebody back from an opiate overdose.
Wow.
Now the kind of stuff that they're using out there in the streets is killing people much more frequently. And I heard about another thing that I didn't even know about as a physician. People want that high to be so high that they want to get close to dying. That is, they say that the best high is right before you die. And so they want to get that experience. I just heard about that. I didn't know that that existed. And so what people are doing now is they're giving themselves that high as they can, with Narcan sitting right beside them. They have Narcan sitting right there beside them. They want to get that high that almost causes them to die and then get it reversed by the Narcan that they themselves give. I cannot believe it, but it's amazing that people are doing that to themselves. Again, new stuff. I mean, this is stuff just that I'm learning about that I want to share with you all. Amazing stuff. The average age of an overdose right now person is 41 years old. So what are we doing about this crisis? Well, we've identified it. We found out that it exists. We're using Narcan to help to reverse some of the problems, but there's some other things we need to do. Some facts again. In 2017, in the United States, there were 72,000 deaths due to drug overdose. 72,000 people lost their lives because of drug overdose. 49,000 of them were due to opioids.
Wow.
So what are opioids? Some folks are going to ask, what is this opioid thing? And I want to explain that to you. Those are narcotics that act on the opioid receptors in your body. Your body has receptors for opioids. It receives opioids. No different than you have cannabinoid or things that receive cannabis. You have things that receive caffeine. Your body receives a lot of stuff that it doesn't need. And sometimes the body is producing things that it doesn't need. Okay, and so it has those receptors that accepts these things. Opioids actually, that's a wonderful thing because opioid receptors give us that reception of feeling good, relaxed, comfortable. Runners get an opiate release after they're running for a while. That's why some of us can go an hour on a treadmill because it starts feeling good to you. Okay, if you've ever done any long distance stuff, you start not feeling pain after you've done for a long period of time. So opioids are good in that respect when you produce them yourself. But when you give them exogenously, in other words, when you give it to yourself, it's not necessarily good. It is good for medicinal purposes to help medicate you, of course, because the doctor knows to give it to you at those particular times. But as a narcotic, we have to be very careful about it. Okay, so usually they're used for pain relief, most commonly, also for anesthesia, for cough suppression. Sometimes, you can take an opiate, codeine, actually can stop a cough. That's what it's used for. Diarrhea suppression, sometimes you have to use an opiate to stop diarrhea. So it has some good properties. And of course, reversing the opiate overdose, as I mentioned earlier, it's an opiate to reverse the opiate effect. You have a reverse opiate that stops the effect of the, that's what Narcan is. And so, some examples of names of opioids, just because I know the folks here have probably heard some of these names. If you haven't heard of any of these names, I want you to raise your hand after I go through this name of drugs. Morphine, methadone, hydrocodone, Norco. That's one everybody, a lot of folks know. Give me some now. Codeine, MS Contin, fentanyl, very dangerous. That's in that Duragesic patch. You know, the fentanyl is in a patch many times given. People are doing crazy things with these patches. They're squeezing out as much as they can from the patch and then trying to inject themselves with what they just squeezed out of a patch and killing themselves. Ventura, Actique, those are types of fentanyl products. Oxycodone, Demerol, Lorcet, Lortab, Percocet. I can go on, but I guarantee you that most adults here have heard of at least 1 to 5 of those different things and may have even taken a few of those things. Not to say anything negative about them, they're medicines. They're supposed to be taken when necessary. So, how do we avoid opiate addiction? Well, I'm going to help you here. First of all, folks, when you come in to have with pain, describe your pain very well. Talk to the physician or the healthcare worker that you're talking to, and make sure you're very clear about your pain. You know, the statement that I hate, and I don't say hate very often, but I hate this statement. I just hurt all over, doctor. You know what that does to me? I can't help you because you have not been specific about your discomfort. Describe the pain, the location of the pain, the intensity of the pain, the character of the pain, what's it like, how much is it? You know, we have these rating scales of 1 to 10, and of course everybody says, my pain is a 10. It's a 10, doctor. Every time I come in here, it's a 10, and you won't give me any of them opiates for that 10. And can you imagine what I say when I'm here, what I'm thinking when I'm hearing that? Your pain is a 10. Now on a level of 1 to 10, a 1 is someone doing this. That's a 1. A 5 is someone taking a needle and sticking it multiple times in. That's a 5. A 10 is someone taking a buzzsaw and sawing your leg off while you're looking at them do it. That's a 10. If you come in and you tell me you're a 10, that means you either need to be in a nursing home, I mean not a nursing home, you need to be in an emergency room, or you need to be dead. Because if you're not speaking, I mean if you're speaking normally to me and someone's sawing your leg off and you can talk to me, there's something seriously wrong. And it ain't the pain. So, expect to be examined. It's amazing to me to have a person come into the office and say, you know, I got this really bad pain, but don't touch it. Don't touch me there because it hurts. What? How? Can you imagine what I'm thinking at the time? I won't say it, and I won't even say it with my face because I've learned how to not do that. But the thought, you have to be thinking, well, what do you want me to do? That's what y'all was thinking. That's what y'all was thinking. So, expect to be examined. Pain is subjective. And I understand you know your body, you've been with your body for a long period of time, but I haven't been in your body. So I don't know what your pain feels like. So I have to make you experience it in order to know how great or what causes that pain. So allow the doctor or healthcare worker to examine you so that they can find out what's causing your pain and how they can help it. So yes, it is going to hurt a little bit in order to determine where your pain is coming from. Be able to describe what brings the pain on and what alleviates it as well. Make sure you can tell somebody, what's causing your pain and what makes it better. If the pain is continuous, how long does it last? Is it monthly? Is it morning? Is it at night? How long has the pain been occurring? Does the pain move? Where does it go? Do you take any over-the-counter medications? Do you take any herbs? Because some herbs, guess what, can cause pain. So, were you recently or previously injured or have surgery? I just saw a patient not too long ago, wasn't in this area, so I'm not worried about you all finding out who it was. But he said, doctor, I'm having a lot of pain in my belly. I said, well, when did you start having the pain? Well, I don't remember. Okay, well, have you had anything done? No, I haven't had anything done. Went through all these questions, and finally, I did the examination. The patient had surgery on their belly a week ago, and they've been having pain for a week. I can't imagine why they might have had pain. Can you? Y'all ain't doctors and y'all able to figure that out. So it's very important that you be very clear about if you've had any previous injuries or surgeries. So also, number 4, and how to avoid opiate addiction. So I'm helping you all with this now. Understand that there are many other approaches to pain relief other than pain pills. There's other ways to deal with pain. Sometimes you need a combination of things. It might be some over-the-counter something. It might be some kind of mind-body technique, yoga. Might be physical therapy. It might be Tai Chi. It might be all kinds of other things that we can use in order to help deal with your pain. It might even be acupuncture. There are so many other ways that we can deal with pain other than pain pills, although that's what everyone wants to think. Again, to try to avoid addiction, listen to your doctor or your healthcare provider. I know that you know your body. Most folks will tell me, Doc, I know my body. And many of them come with this statement too. And this is another statement. I don't particularly hate this statement, but I have an issue with this statement. The statement is, Doc, I already did my research. I know about this. If you know about it so well, why are you coming to me? First of all. Secondly, you telling me that your 15 minutes of a Google search trumps my 35 years of experience and my 12 years of education? Get out of my office. You're insulting me. So, I'm sorry, your 15 minutes of a Google search does not compare with what your doctor or your healthcare provider has prepared themselves with, the experience that they've developed over the years. It's really an insult to them to come and tell them how to practice what you have, what they've worked years to learn, and then had experience dealing with multiple other people, sometimes thousands of people with the same issue. So yes, I understand you know your body, okay, and you've done your research, but you're coming into my office. I'm just saying. So, exactly. Got to be. So, don't come asking for a specific medication to treat your discomfort, but do offer up that there have been some things that have helped, that we need to know, some things that might have helped in the past, and we also want to know if there's some things that didn't work in the past. That's important to us. But when you come and you say, this works for me and this is what I'm taking, okay, write your prescription then. So, and I don't say this because, I'm being arrogant. It really isn't arrogance. It's just knowledge. It's just what I've gained over all these years. And again, when you've gotten those many years behind you, you become less apologetic for what you know, because of what you know. So, but be specific about how something did help or how it didn't help. That's important too. Please don't self-treat pain using other people's medication. I don't know how many times people come in and they tell me that they've done this illegal thing of taking somebody else's pain medicine. Did you all hear me say illegal? It is truly illegal for your mother to give you her pain pills because she has some left over. She's committing a crime and so are you. Just so you know, don't tell your healthcare worker that that's what happened, even if it's happened, because they can turn you in. Now, when you've told me, some folks have told me, and I let them know, blah, 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 I'm not hearing that because I don't want to hear that. Don't do it. Just don't do it. No different if you went and robbed the grocery store the day before. Don't tell me. I don't need to know. Avoid addiction also by maintaining a healthy relationship with positive people. Hang around with positive folk. When you hang around with negative people, you know, my mother used to say when you hang around with dogs, you come up with fleas. Yeah, that's what's gonna happen. If you hang out with negative people, guess what? You're gonna be just as negative. You're gonna take that negativity on to you. And so that may cause more problems with addiction. I encourage you to read more books, improve your life and others around you by reading more, by learning more about you and this world that we live in. Do a little personal development. Develop yourself personally. There's some great books. I've heard John C. Maxwell quoted here today. I've heard, you know, there are some great people that have written some great books. Look to those authors and gain some of their wisdom. Remember, as you become more positive, you will tend initially to attract more positive people. But first and foremost, positive people, and hear this well, because the volume is going up a little bit here. If you all can make sure that as you get your food, you have a little bit of questions that people have right here, and I want to answer them. And what I was going to do this year, look out for next year, I think I'm going to give a pop quiz next year. Because I told y'all, I write notes when I'm hearing stuff. So look out for the pop quiz next year, okay? But I decided not to do it this